Hey everyone, I'm Adam. Welcome to the Village Bike Kitchen. This is our first episode of Old Bike Day. Now I know bike people know that nothing beats the excitement of New Bike Day, but at Village Bike Kitchen, we get excited for Old Bike Day. It's the same exact feeling, we just aim that excitement at something a little crustier. I get excited about vintage, retro, and slightly forgotten about bikes, but more importantly, about the possibility of bringing them back to life. Sometimes that requires just a simple tune-up. Sometimes that takes a full build. Today, we're going to build the bike out completely. Inside this box is a piece of UK bike history that I am very excited to show you. Let's open it up and see what surprises this old bike has in store for us. I lost the cable. Unboxing time. And yup, this is exactly why Old Bike Day exists. The color, the logos, it's got so much character. I can't wait to get started. This frame comes from an important moment in UK mountain biking history. Muddy Fox started in the 1980s when off-road riding was still pretty new here, and it was a bold move. People questioned whether mountain bikes would sell. After all, there aren't many mountains in England. But Muddy Fox knew something was missing from the riding scene. Instead of building another high-end race machine, they focused on affordable off-road bikes that ordinary riders could actually buy. Bikes for bridleways, forest tracks, canal paths, the kind of riding people could access. Muddy Fox became so closely associated with mountain bikes here that other companies avoided using the term in marketing. Some adopted the phrase all-terrain bikes because Muddy Fox were the mountain bike people. Muddy Fox built simple bikes with character, and this frame represents that era perfectly. It's exactly the kind of bike worth bringing back to life. First things first, it's always easier to build on a clean frame. This might be my favorite part of the build. A clean frame is a blank canvas. The whole build is still in front of me. It means the possibilities are endless. And more importantly, I haven't made any mistakes yet. Once the frame was looking sharp, I could finally get building. The bottom bracket. Right away, I hit my first snag. You see me struggling here, trying to make sure the bottom bracket is going in just right. The last thing I want to do is ruin the threads on this bottom bracket. I spent a lot of time on this. Unfortunately, I had to do it all over again. Once I got the bottom bracket installed, I noticed the chain line was all off. That is the risk with these old 3x bikes when you convert them to a 1x. It takes a lot of trial and error. I had to go get a bottom bracket with a shorter spindle and redo the whole process. But once that was all sorted, I can move on to the cranks. I love this chainring. I think the pink pops nicely with the green. I put it on a used set of Sturmey Archer cranks, and with the chain line all worked out, we were all set to move on to the cockpit. It's time to build the front of the bike. But little do I know I have another problem. I cleaned and greased all the parts of the headset, and at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. But once I installed the headset and the fork, I could tell something was really, really wrong. Can you hear this metal scraping? I installed the fork and it was really indexy and clunky and gross. Not twisted right in there, so I went and sanded the fork down. See if you can see. Nice and smooth now. I'm hoping that gets rid of that grinding noise that was in there. I'm fairly certain I have the bearings installed correctly, so I'm hoping it was just rust and verdigris that was here, and now that everything goes smooth. I don't know, that's something in there is rubbing. That is not good. Better, but it shouldn't be making that metal noise. One last ditch effort to save this headset. I felt some pitting on the cups, so I tried to sand those down. This work made a little bit of an improvement, but I couldn't fully solve the issue. So I reinstalled the headset, the fork, and for tonight, I just decided to move on. With the fork and headset somewhat sorted, it was time to start making this thing look like a bike. This matching green stem is amazing. It's so 90s and it gave me tons of options for the cockpit. I knew I wanted silver components for this build, and I found these beautiful Velo orange tourist bars. I think they will help turn this frame into the slow cruiser I have been imagining. Nothing fancy for the brake levers, just some Shimano Diors. They work fine, they match. I did find these beautiful white DMR death grips that I think are going to go great with the tires that you'll see shortly. These tires change everything. I love how they make the lime green shine. And I think this green and white color scheme helps this build stand out from other builds. These hubs were crusty. They barely spun. And I absolutely hate hub maintenance. But to make this bike rideable, this had to be done. I am terrified of losing the ball bearings, especially when it's time to flip the wheel and do the other side. The only way I figured out how to do this is just to pack the hub full of grease and hope that it keeps the bearings in place. Kind of like this. Okay, we are getting closer. Got a fresh cassette on, so we can go work on the drivetrain, which will give us absolutely no problems, right? Like I mentioned earlier, this bike's going to be set up as a 1x drivetrain, and cabling up the friction shifter was not bad at all, other than this little bit. Little did I know I had major problems ahead though. I absolutely stole this technique from the bike farmer, but it is a lot of fun. Highly recommend you give it a try. I installed the derailleur and immediately it was clear to me that something was wrong, but I had no idea what. It could be the chain line again, the chain length, a bent derailleur hanger, a bent derailleur cage, or something else. If I ever wanted to ride this bike, I needed help from professionals. Luckily, Halfords came to the rescue. It turns out the derailleur hanger threading is shredded, and the derailleur couldn't hang in the right alignment. The mechanic was able to chase the threads and install it right. Guys, do we have a bike? Alright, that's a wrap on episode 1 of Old Bike Day. You might have noticed the bike isn't quite done, but it's nearly there. I'm just waiting on one important thing, which is an odd-sized seat post, which is pretty on brand for these old builds. But the hard part's done, the bike is built, it works, and I'm really excited to get it out on the road. If you've watched this far, I'm guessing you're at least a little bit into this type of content. So if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, subscribe, and follow on for the next video. The next video will be a first ride and first impressions out on the bike paths. So I'll see you there. Thanks.